Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome to a new dragging video. Today we're just focusing on Louis Vuitton, honey. We're going to be focusing on boutiques in America, in Singapore, in Australia. So without further ado, let's get started. This is the Louis Vuitton flagship in Sydney, in Australia. It's a long one, so I won't read the whole review. I'll just read portions of it and we'll just summarize what she is talking about. She says, I took my bag in for repair and I was made to feel super uncomfortable about what should have been a simple request. She said, I had shown the essay that my Felicie pochette had worn the glazing on the bottom, which had melted and become sticky to touch. She refused to acknowledge it was the glaze and kept insisting it was some sort of foreign material and substance. She implied that it was from misuse. I told her that while I do use the bag frequently, it had been stored in my suitcase it had been stored in my suitcase inside a dust bag, and I had limited its use after discovering the stickiness alongside the bottom of the bag. She went upstairs and apparently sought the advice of the repairs team, who said the same thing. She also said she finds it strange that the bag didn't have an authentication chip, which bags after 2019 should have, especially since mine was purchased 2021. As a consumer, how am I supposed to know this? And then she keeps going on and on about other stuff. She also insisted it was not a manufacturing fault because bags after 2019 have a new formula which shouldn't peel. Then she said, therefore, my bag doesn't come under warranty as it was purchased in 2021. When we both inspected the card insert and I found the same problem, because she was talking about the card insert having issues, the essay proceeded to say there could have been many reasons as to why this happened. We weren't there with you when you were using the bag. Yes. This is what I'm talking about, okay? Big LVCAs, honey. Big LVCA said, you are an MFing liar, honey. That's what she called her. We weren't there with you when you were using the bag. Let me stop you right there, girl. You're not getting this thing repaired. It became increasingly more infuriating when she came back with the paperwork for the repair handover, in which she emphasized that the bag had extensive wear and made comments about the bottom being scratched. She goes on to say that she wanted to get an opinion from another boutique from Louis Vuitton in Sydney, and then she did try her luck, and then she was offered a full store credit based on the current value or a replacement, and she was out of the door in 30 minutes and she got a warm reception. She doesn't mention the store. She mentions the name of the essay. I'm not going to say the essay's name, it doesn't matter. And then she said, I thought to myself, I wasn't wearing head-to-toe designer when I walked into the store. Who cares? Perhaps this fueled the essay's assumptions about me, I don't know. However, it shouldn't matter what I appear to be. I should be able to walk in, track pants and flip-flops and still receive service synonymous to luxury. Flip-flops? Girl. Bye. Unlike the monogram canvas bags that line the shelves. Okay, so a few things here, right? It was a really long review, guys. I had to condense it. It would be just too boring to read out every line. Some people go on and on and on. It's like they're writing, Lord of the Rings by, J.R. Tolkien, except the luxury version, and everyone's running around moaning the whole time. First of all, she broke one of the cardinal glamazon rules when dealing with Louis Vuitton. In one of my older videos, I had chatted about this many times before. Some of you have even told me privately to use this tip and you found that it works. I've always said, if you're going to Louis Vuitton, pick something up anyway. Whether you're returning something, you're going in for a repair, you're going in for an exchange, just pick something up anyway. Even if it's not your local Louis Vuitton, even if your essay and you are cool and you don't think it matters, it does matter. Pick something up anyway. She could have walked in there and said, hey, I'd like to get this repaired. By the way, do you have a bando? It doesn't have to be expensive, something small. Do you have a bando? Do you have a card holder? By the way, for example, their new Clemence notebooks, they've released a new design. Do you have any Clemence notebooks? Do you have a refill? I'm trying to think of, the cheap and cheerful items, which I love because, they're just so cute and darling and they're very affordable as well. of the refill. What about one of those really cute Louis Vuitton coffee table books? What about the coasters? I think those are like 600 euros. Buy something small, in addition to getting your item repaired, in addition to returning something, in addition to exchanging something. I think it goes a long way just to show goodwill. It's a small item. It doesn't like matter, I guess, maybe in the grand scheme of the boutique, but I think it's a nice way to kind of just have a pleasant experience. One of the things which I found super interesting about this review is the fact that obviously the CA was upset once she realized that the person wasn't buying anything. They were just coming to return and to moan and complain about it. And the fact that she went to the other store and had good service. It's likely that maybe she was a bit of a diva when she went into this first store. By the time she went to the other store, she maybe calmed down a little bit. The person was complaining, saying, you know, that maybe they weren't dressed really nicely and they didn't look really nice, and, you know, maybe, you know, they weren't taken seriously, you know, for that reason. Yeah, maybe. But like, what did you look like? I mean, you're going into the boutique with flip-flops. I don't know, those of you who live in Sydney, in Australia, is that appropriate? That doesn't sound appropriate to me, but I don't know. I mean, I would never go to the Louis Vuitton Johannesburg store in flip-flops. And like, South Africa's a hot country, my country's a hot country. I mean, I just don't understand the point of the person like making a big deal about that. The person, I don't think, was wearing flip-flops when they went, but like, it's a luxury store. Like, they're gonna judge you on how you're dressed. It is what it is, you know. Many of you live in countries where people dress very casually and things like that. I get that and I respect that, but at the end of the day, it's a luxury store. Like, they are, like, particularly if they don't know you, and it doesn't sound like they knew her, they are going to expect you to look, you know, put together. I think it's fair. Okay, the next one is from Australia as well, from the Sydney store of the same one. All of these so-called luxury stores are truly pathetic in the way they treat customers before you even walked in the door, forcing people to wait 20, 30 minutes in a line outside just to keep the appearance of luxury. Then when you're finally allowed to enter, they want to babysit you and have someone follow you around instead of giving you the freedom to look around. Additionally, most of the items don't have a price tag, just another one of their silly techniques to appear more exclusive, despite the quality of their products not coming close to the price tag. Okay, well, who put, you know, who did something bad to your, you know, tea in the morning? Like, why are you mad? Like, this is how luxury stores work. I'm wondering if people know about the one-to-one service thing. I must say though, another tip that I have, like if you're shopping in a store that's not your like home store, particularly for Louis Vuitton, and you want to look around, I found it's always fine to mention the things that you want to buy, and then the SA has to go and look for each item. That gives you time to look around. I did that at Harrods. I wanted to buy a bunch of stuff that day, not just the Rosalie. I asked for perfume, I asked for notebooks, my husband asked for 2 items, I asked for other things that she didn't have, and then she just came back with the Rosalie. I was like, okay, fine, I'll take this, you know, it's fine. And in that period, like each thing that she's looking for, she has to go and look, she has to go and look, she has to go and look, and she's looking and she's looking, she's looking, and then that gave me time to browse, and I even, you know, filmed a shopping vlog and it was fine. So I'm wondering if people understand, like, you have to go there to buy things, because I feel like when you're buying something, you kind of get that browsing feeling. I personally wouldn't go to, I've said this before, I would not go to a freestanding Louis Vuitton to look around. I think that they do make it feel very unpleasant. The Louis Vuitton have a wonderful app. Why don't you just look at the app? I don't understand I don't understand why people feel the need to browse physically in a store with zero intention of buying anything. I think this might just be a cultural thing, because in Africa people don't go to like high-end, really nice stores. Like, we have like high-end boutiques in Dar es Salaam, there are high-end boutiques in Joburg, in Lagos and Accra. There are high-end stores there. People wouldn't go to those stores to look around. People go because they want to buy. Like, I don't know, I mean, I could be wrong, this could be cultural, don't moan and shout at me. I'm allowed to have my opinion based on my reading of it, but at the end of the day, like, if you want to browse, they have a fantastic app. Browse online, just make it easy on yourself, or at the very least go buy something small and then look around as well. Or be very clear if you're going to look around and say, I'm only looking around. You let me know what you think. Okay, the next review is from the Louis Vuitton boutique in the Takashimaya shopping center in Singapore. I simply asked a question to my SA who previously served me. The SA does not even want to reply. I wasted my time just to go down to the boutique to get an answer that is not doable, and I had to do this thing elsewhere. The CA contacted me after I provided my feedback and mentioned she was busy and she missed my messages. Please note I had made 2 inquiries previously, one last week and one was made a few months ago, which I received a blue tick for both. So obviously this is on WhatsApp. So he'd been WhatsApping his Louis Vuitton CA and she had been blanking him and ignoring him and blowing him off. I definitely think that this is a thing, and I'm not surprised that this is happening more. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't ask her a question. I'm just super curious about whether it might just be better to ask certain questions like in person, like the next time you go to buy something. I hate to be that person who's always like, when are you going, when you go to buy something. But for example, just to give an example, I have some questions I want to ask my CA when I go to Johannesburg, and my husband and I actually were talking about our Joburg trip today, so it's very exciting. We're going very soon. I can't wait to get there. But I have and after speaking to him today, I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited, I can't wait to be there, and I can't wait to ask her certain questions, like questions which I just want to know what she has to say. I have questions about their hard-sided pieces. I have questions about the high jewelry. I have questions about, for example, if she organizes an appointment for me at the Champs-Élysées boutique, does she get a credit? Like not necessarily a commission, but does she get credit if I maybe show a lot of loyalty or something? I have questions for her. Those are not questions which I think go well over text. I feel like those are best done in person, and preferably after picking up items and spending money, versus okay, I'm just going to go into Louis Vuitton to ask my CA something, but I'm not going to buy anything. This is a shop and it's driven based off revenues and sales and sale of goods. It is about money all of the time. And I think when you accept that, it's just so much easier to shop at these brands and you don't take it personally. The person got blanked and ignored. That does suck, but they obviously were not buying anything, because if they were buying something, the SA would have replied, and it is what it is. Look guys, it is what it is. The next review is also of this same location of the Louis Vuitton at Takashimaya in Singapore. I went to Louis Vuitton Takashimaya yesterday to get my friend's new wallet engraved. First, we step in, there are a lot of CAs, but we were not welcomed nicely. Instead, we were asked, yes, what do you want? After saying we wanted to engrave our wallet while heading in, I see the CA talking with her colleague and giving us a sarcastic look as they both looked at me and my friend. Then my friend saw a bag she liked and asked the CA a few questions, but the CA reluctantly answered the questions. She had no enthusiasm, she didn't even smile. She didn't even ask us any questions to know more about us and to know what we're looking for. She was mainly just answering with 1 or 2 word answers. Even explaining about the engraving seemed like a chore to her. She took almost 20 minutes to do the engraving, and also when we were in Louis Vuitton, I could see there were some CAs sitting down in the guest area on their phones without being conscious of their surroundings. I'm very disappointed. I'll never go back here again. I will prefer to shop at the Marina Bay Sands boutique. Okay, this is another great example of people making assumptions. Remember in my Chanel dragging video where we talked about the woman who was shopping at Cambon and she felt upset that she saw clients being offered champagne and she hadn't got offered champagne. This person, okay, is also making an assumption about the CAs sitting down. You don't know what those CAs were selling. Maybe before they walked in to get their wallet engraved, someone came in and bought 100,000 US dollars worth of trunks. Big LV have those trunks that are 100K. They have trunks that are 50K, 40K, 30K. Maybe someone came in and spent 100K's worth of trunks. Maybe someone came in and bought 3 exotic bags. And maybe the CA who's sitting on their phone sold $100,000 worth of trunks and exotics before you walked in to talk about your wallet being engraved. And maybe that's why they're on their phone making sure that their client who spent a ton of money is okay, or maybe they're playing solitaire. We don't know. Maybe they've just sold a ton of merchandise and they're sitting down, honey, on their phone, playing solitaire, because they've just sold $100,000 worth of goods. You don't know that. So for the person to be like, oh, they were sitting, and I've noticed this in a lot of these dragging reviews. People will always be like, I see a bunch of Louis Vuitton CAs sitting down. I see a bunch of Chanel like SAs sitting down, and they're just sitting down. They're not doing anything. They're not trying to help. You don't know how much they sold. Okay, that person probably just sold like 100K, 50K's worth of goods. They're sitting down, they're putting their wig on, okay? Because they have just sold, maybe they've already sold like 2 days worth of sales, and you're coming to get your wallet engraved. You're not even like buying anything else. Like I said, pick something up, like something small. Louis Vuitton have a lot of like really nice, affordable bits and pieces. Their perfumes are 260 euros. The card holder is 205 euros. It's a nice piece as well. You can just put it in your bag. You can, it's really nice. It can even fit into a Minaudière. It's so small. Like, what about just picking something small up as well, in addition to doing the engraving? I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I'd love to know what you guys think. Okay, the next dragging review is from Plano in Texas in America. The Beverly Hills location sold us a pair of shoes. We shipped them straight to our house in Plano. The pair of shoes were tried on for a single time for under 90 seconds. This location claims they are unreturnable. Shipping out a product in the condition it cannot be returned is fraudulent. They insist on working. They insisted that we worked with the original location across the country, consider better places to shop. Okay, first of all, I don't want to buy, your shoes that you have worn for 90 seconds. I don't want to buy any shoes that someone has worn for 9 seconds. I don't want to buy shoes that have been worn by someone for a ninth of 1 second, okay? I just can't with the people who try on shoes and then try and return them. You put your feet in there. By the way, I hate feet, if that isn't obvious by now. You put your feet in there and you're trying to, return this thing. Like, give me a break. Like, I just can't. No. Okay? No way. The next review is of the same location in Plano, Texas. I wish I'd read some of these reviews before. This was the most offensive experience I've ever had. I normally never complain. Yeah, right. But my experience with the store team at Legacy West in Plano, Texas was the worst customer service experience I've ever had. The store manager, they named the store manager, I wouldn't say the person's name, was arrogant, condescending, really needs to stop making assumptions about clients. One does not have to be in designer ready to wear to purchase luxury products. Girl, Louis Vuitton is going to get you together, girl, honey. They're going to be like, girl, you better come in here wearing Pret-a-Porter if you're new to this boutique. I went into the store to return a purchase and I was made to feel like I couldn't afford a product. I was accused of deception. You're a liar! I was trying to return or exchange a brand new purse I had purchased less than 30 days before and was told it was not returnable. Why? The bag was new. I would have been fine with the response, but the attitude of the team was shocking. I was wearing my rough weekend clothes and I was not in my nice work suits. And the women there were totally disrespecting me. This team needs some serious diversity and inclusion training. And basic communication skills, tone and attitude are the worst. I mean, look, I think that there are a few things here. Like I said it, this is like a recurring theme in today's videos. If you're going to return something, pick something up as well. I think it helps because the CA is not making any money off you. As far as the CA, the store manager, as far as they're concerned, they haven't sold a single thing. You turn up there looking like Raggedy Ann and you think that you're going to be, treated like you're Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, girl. Like, do you want Louis Vuitton to skull drag you first, or do we have to tell you, what to do? Guys, seriously, let's stop this now. This is ridiculous. This person's bang out of order. Return your bag, pick something up as well. Come on, come on. Let's do things on the glamours and levels. The last review is also from Plano in Texas. They only assist you here if you look like you have money. I was looking at wallets. Meanwhile, one of the sales associates was putting something away in the same drawer. Instead of asking me if I needed assistance, she closed the drawer and headed over to a group of CAs who were talking with an older woman who looked very wealthy. I can see why this location has such a low rating already after only, this review's from 2 years ago. I can see why this location has such a low rating already after only being open for a few months. Girl, look, I don't want to get cancelled from my YouTube channel. I love filming these videos, honey. They're my favorite videos to film because before I was filming YouTube, I was reading dragging reviews anyway. I would go and be like, I want to go to the store, let me see if they're getting skull drag. You were making an assumption because the person looked nice, but the mature client looked nice, okay? That's why she had a group of, CAs clamoring to help her. It's also possible that she is known to the store, so they know who she is. And I think sometimes people need to stop being so presumptive. That could be a VIP client, a big spending client, and everyone knows who that person is. That person drops a ton of money, and they're known to the store, and they dress really nicely. Because these videos always attract people who are gonna be like, I walk in my knickers, in my pants, and I never make an effort. And there's gonna be someone saying, I wear flip flops and I wear my knickers, and I walk in and I get every single thing that I want. Okay, cool, but that's your home store. Presumably it sounds like this particular boutique gets a lot of people who are tourists, who are just passing through, and I'm just like, I just feel like the mature client was showing this client how to do it. Look nice, and these CAs are gonna be running after you, honey, trying to make sure that you have every single thing that you want. It sounds to me like this mature client was known to those group of CAs, and then the tourist client is maybe feeling a little bit envious. You're a bit you're jealous, like you're jealous that's not you. You're picking up a wallet. I don't think you should expect red carpet service picking up a wallet. When I got the coin purse, even though I was trying to buy other things, my husband told the CA, do you have this? Do you have this? No, we don't have it. But, we weren't buying prêt-à-porter. He had wanted to get some other things as well, but we weren't buying ready to wear. We weren't buying like exotics or whatever. It's okay for them not to roll out the red carpet. I think people also need to be realistic about treatment. The treatment that you get, like what are you buying and how much are you spending? You're just picking up a wallet. It's a bit harsh for the CA was putting something away in the same drawer. The CA is like, bruh, you're just buying probably a canvas wallet. I'm done with you. Oh my God, there's a client over there who has a lot of money to burn, a lot of money to spend. Let me go and help that person. I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you think about Louis Vuitton dragging the girls, honey? And what are your thoughts? Now I want to just kind of chat in general about the kind of themes I see in these dragging videos. You guys, the first major theme that I see in a lot of the Louis Vuitton dragging stories, the ones I featured today and the ones that I see even if I don't feature them in a video, is people don't actually understand proper luxury shopping etiquette. Don't panic. I'm not saying you guys. You guys who are watching, you're all ballers, you're big spenders. You spend tons of money at Louis Vuitton, big H, big C, Dior, big Gucci. You're all very successful at the boutique, but a lot of people are just passing through and don't know that there is an etiquette to things. I do think it's good form. You don't have to. I do think it's good form if you're going to do an exchange, return something, or even just go to get something hot stamped. It's good form to pick another item up. So at Louis Vuitton, obviously you can get an engraving done, like at the reviewer who was from Singapore talking about getting a wallet engraved. You can obviously return items, you can exchange items as well, you can get store credit. You can do all of those things. I think even if you're going to get your perfume, like if you're going to get a refill, when I go to South Africa, I'm going to take a bottle with me to see if I can get a refill, but I'm buying other things as well. I wouldn't go there just to get a refill. Even though obviously I'm paying for the refill, I still think it's good form to pick something else up, like I said. By the way, I'm not just talking about women's items. Like there's some really cool pieces from men's which are not super expensive. I think some of their ready-to-wear shirts are very well priced. I think it's like 400, I think maybe 400 euros or 330 or something, 350, maybe, no, that's not right. I think it's like 450 euros for one of their simple shirts, or maybe the pocket organizer, I think in leather, I think it's like 370 euros. They have a lot of affordable pieces that are not super expensive. So if you don't want to spend a ton of money that day and you're going to get, perfume refill, or you're going to buy something else, you can just go and buy it, and buy something small to support the exchange or the return or the hot stamping. I think that is good form. You don't have to, particularly if you are someone who spends a ton anyway. You don't have to. But I think if you're passing through a boutique where they don't know you and you're like, oh, there's a Louis Vuitton, let me go and get hot stamping done, or let me go and return something, buy something else as well. I think it's just good form. And I think that you also alleviate pressure from other people who are going to be returning things as well. That's just my view. I know I'm gonna get eaten up in these comments. Drag me. I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. I'm coming for, and I'm gonna come back for you guys as well. If you come for me in these comments of what I said, I'm gonna be like, let me stop you right there, okay? It's just kind of my view on it as well. The second theme of all the Louis Vuitton dragging reviews is the fact that people don't understand how to browse. We saw that in this the story of the person in Sydney in Australia. The person wanted to enter the store, just browse, just look around, but not buy anything. I think if you want to do that, I think you should just say very clearly, like when you get there, depending on if your Louis Vuitton has a greeter, the boutique in Johannesburg, my home store, has a greeter. The boutique in the Champs-Elysees, there's a greeter at the door. Just say, I would like to look around, I'm just looking. I think that's the best way. And you can even be like, I'm just looking. If I need help, I'll let you know. That way the CA just knows to give you space. Instead of being upset about the fact that someone is doing their job. That person's working to pay their bills just like everyone else. There's no need to be rude or kind of like dramatic about the whole thing. Let the person do their job and just say nicely, like, oh, you know what? I'm just looking. I'll let you know if I need any help. Better yet, look at the app. So you don't have to have any of these awkward experiences. But like I said, I know I'm gonna get dragged, honey. Drag me, because I'm gonna be responding to these. And the third thing, and which I think is like the biggest thing that I see in the Louis Vuitton dragging reviews and people's reviews of the Louis Vuitton boutiques worldwide, is people feel entitled to formidable service even if they haven't spent a ton. Like I told you, I'm not someone who's entitled. I'm not entitled, honestly, at luxury stores. My limit is just being racially profiled in a store. Obviously, if you racially profile me, I'm not going to give your brand any money. I don't care whether it's fast fashion, whether it's high-end fashion. I'm happy to say I've never had that experience at Louis Vuitton. I've never had like an R-word experience at Louis Vuitton, thank God. Now, that said, I'm not someone who is particularly entitled. I just play things by ear, and I'm very cool and calm about it. Particularly if I'm not spending a lot of money in a purchase, I'm not going to be dramatic about getting champagne and getting water and all these things. If they're offered, that's great, but I'm not going to be like weird about it. I think a lot of people are really weird about it in a lot of these dragging reviews, and in a lot of cases it's a similar thing. I bought a coin purse, someone's buying a wallet, or someone's buying a perfume, and they expect the whole red carpet to be rolled out for them. Again, if it happens, that's wonderful, but it is not necessary. I bought the summer perfume in Johannesburg. She was so nice. She gave me water. She was explaining the store. But the Johannesburg store is a little bit different. They want to build their book of African clients, and they have a different MO than other Louis Vuittons. That would not have happened in the Champs-Elysees. That would not have happened at the Maison Vendôme in Paris. I know that. That would absolutely not have happened at New Bond Street in London or at Sloane Street in London as well. And I know that, because just based on my experience at Harrods. But I bought something small and I was still treated well. But I wasn't entitled. I was like, if it happens, great, but I don't feel entitled because I didn't spend a ton of money. I think there are a lot of people who are not spending a ton of money in reviews and feel very entitled. Because I know someone's going to be like, there can be people, there are people spending way more than you and still treated like that. Not in a lot of these dragging reviews. There are people who are not like spending a ton, and they still feel very entitled. And they'll mention and by the way, I'm not talking about bags. I'm talking about singular items that are not bags, that are not like more than $1,000. Someone will mention like a wallet or a perfume or whatever, or something like that, or maybe a pair of like costume jewelry, earrings, and then they'll be like, oh, I was treated so badly, I was treated like this or whatever. But did you maybe give off the vibe that you felt entitled? How often are you going to Louis Vuitton as well? Are you going often? Are you not going often? Like, what's your cadence as well of shopping as well? Because even for me, it's like, we're going to Johannesburg, literally in about 2 weeks' time. I'm going to pick up a bunch of items there. I have a wish list of things that I want to get that I'm going to tell my CA about. And I hope that I'll be traveling to Joburg like every 2-3 months so I can shop there. But like, I think that there are people who are just passing through some like tourist locations and they have no intention of coming back to buy. They want to just buy one thing and they want to get the whole red carpet rolled out for them, and they're just buying a perfume, they're just buying a wallet, they're just buying one small thing. I don't feel entitled. Like, if you want to give me that service, that's wonderful, and I'll remember that great service, so the next time I come to spend, I'll spend more. But I think that there is this huge sense of entitlement in a lot of the reviews as well, and that's just something that I've noticed. I'd love to know what you think about this dragging video. What do you think about the dragging videos that we just focus on one brand on its own? Today I went for a drive in the evening because I was prepping this video, thinking about, you know, the stories I was going to feature and my themes and the things I was going to talk about. One of the biggest things that I've realized is Louis Vuitton is absolutely determined to price out a lot of people from this brand. Like, Louis Vuitton wants to price people out. So if you're sticking around with Louis Vuitton, you're going to be expected to be spending, you're going to be expected to be picking up a lot of things, you're going to be expected to buy the things that are the things that the brand is prioritizing, like leather goods instead of canvas, you know, the hard-sided pieces, prêt-à-porter, the objet nomade, and things like that. So it's going to be, I'm very, very, very excited about going to the Johannesburg store. I will report back, and I'm going to have a video about the Joburg store because now I have this CA connection and I'm going to be picking up way more things. So tune in for, I think I will have like a Louis Vuitton shopping blog or a Louis Vuitton themed video in South Africa to give you guys the tea about the Joburg store, because there's not a lot of information out. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get there and to see what the store has on offer, and I'll report back about the experience. But the Johannesburg scene is very different. It's a very competitive store. There are a lot of big ballers, big spenders, lots of people with the ability to spend. But I also feel like the boutiques in Africa, there are 2 in South Africa and there are 2 in Morocco. They are focused on the long term of building up the Louis Vuitton client base on the African continent. So the feeling I got from my CA that I met was, yeah, I just bought the summer perfume, but she was like, let me know when you come back, you know, prepare things for you. What are your interests? What are the things you like? Like, she wanted to know a lot about me and what my passions and interests were with the brand. So it was a very good feeling, and I look forward to shopping there more often in the future as well. Please, please, please subscribe to my channel if you like what I'm doing, and turn on notifications. You guys are not turning them on, so you're missing my videos, and then you're like, I didn't know you had a video today, and I'm like, grab, turn on that notification, honey. So make sure you do that. Please subscribe, go follow me on all of my socials. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week in my subsequent videos.